Australia has long been a beacon for immigrants seeking a better life. But in 2025, a surprising trend is emerging. A significant number of immigrants are choosing to leave. What's driving this reverse migration? Let's delve into the reasons behind this unexpected exodus. In 2025, the dream of owning a home in Australia feels further out of reach than ever before. The median house price in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne has surged past $900,000, and in some suburbs, well over $1 million for immigrants, many of whom arrive with limited savings and little access to credit. This makes homeownership nearly impossible. Even renting is becoming unaffordable. Weekly rent prices have increased by more than 20% in the past year alone in many urban areas, but it's not just housing. Grocery prices have soared due to inflation, supply chain issues, and global economic pressures. A basic grocery shop that once cost $100 may now cost $150 or more. Fuel prices remain volatile, and electricity bills are among the highest in the developed world. For families, it's a constant struggle to keep up with monthly expenses for many immigrants who arrived in Australia with hopes of stability. These rising costs have been devastating. Some are working multiple jobs just to get by, sacrificing time with family, mental health, and their long-term goals. Imagine paying over 50% of your monthly income just on rent. That's the reality for thousands of immigrant families in 2025. In regional areas, once seen as affordable alternatives, prices are catching up. Migrants trying to escape the major city grind are now finding those options close to. The government has introduced some support measures, but for many, it's too little, too late. The harsh reality is that the cost of living is pushing people out, not because they want to leave, but because they feel they have no choice. For migrant parents, raising children in Australia is now significantly more expensive than ever. Childcare fees can consume more than $500 to $800 per week. Uniforms, school supplies, extracurricular activities, everything adds up. The dream of giving your child a better future feels further away with every rising bill. Electricity prices in some states have increased by over 25% in the last 18 months. Public transport, once the go-to for budget-conscious commuters, is also becoming expensive, and overcrowded financial pressure is pushing immigrant communities to the brink. Many are turning to food banks or local charities for support. Mental health clinics are reporting higher levels of stress, burnout, and depression, especially among breadwinners. The cost of living is no longer just an economic issue, it's a human one. And unless something changes, Australia risks losing the very people who came here to build its future. When immigrants arrive in Australia, they come with hopes, qualifications, and dreams of contributing to a thriving economy. But what many don't expect is how hard it is to actually land a job. In 2025, Australia's job market is more competitive than ever. While unemployment rates look healthy on the surface, the reality for immigrants, especially recent arrivals, is far more complex. One of the biggest issues is underemployment. Immigrants often hold degrees and experience from their home countries, but in Australia, these are frequently undervalued or not recognized. An engineer ends up driving for Uber. A qualified teacher works night shifts as a cleaner. Their skills are real, but the opportunities just aren't accessible, though unspoken. Many immigrants face subtle bias during the recruitment process. Studies show that applicants with Anglo-sounding names are more likely to be shortlisted than those with foreign-sounding names, even if their qualifications are identical. The pandemic and economic shifts have led to a flood of Australians re-entering the job market, including locals changing careers or returning from abroad. This increases the competition, and unfortunately, immigrants often fall to the bottom of the shortlist. Even when immigrants try to meet Australian standards, they face another hurdle: the cost of upskilling or getting local licenses. Nursing, teaching, IT all require certifications that can cost thousands of dollars and months of unpaid time. The result is a massive loss of human potential. Doctors become cab drivers. MBA graduates serve coffee. Their talents are wasted, and their hopes fade. This lack of opportunity is pushing many to leave. Countries like Canada, Germany, and the UAE are welcoming skilled migrants with better pathways and job access. And Australia is losing out. A competitive job market isn't inherently bad, but when it consistently sidelines skilled migrants, it's not just unfair, it's unsustainable. If Australia wants to retain global talent, it must do more than invite them in. It must let them participate. Children of immigrants face a unique kind of stress, caught between cultures, languages, and expectations. They often battle identity confusion, bullying, and pressure to succeed at all costs. This pressure can lead to anxiety, low self-esteem, and depression, especially when parents are also emotionally unavailable due to work stress. Even for those who want help, mental health services in Australia are often expensive and overwhelmed. Waiting lists can stretch for months, especially in regional areas. Private sessions can cost up to $200 per visit, far out of reach for struggling families. For many immigrants, the emotional cost of staying outweighs the practical benefits, so they make the heartbreaking decision to leave. Not because they want to, but because their spirit can't take anymore. Australia was once known for its welcoming immigration system, a place where skilled workers, students, and families could build a life. But in 2025, that door is narrowing. And for many immigrants, it now feels like it's slamming shut in the last year alone. Australia has introduced multiple changes to its migration program: stricter point requirements, longer processing times, and increased scrutiny on certain visa types, especially student and skilled work visas. Applicants who would have easily qualified just a few years ago are now being rejected or endlessly delayed. International students, once seen as future contributors to Australia's economy, are now being met with suspicion. Tougher visa monitoring, limited work rights, and post-study uncertainty have left many feeling betrayed. Australia risks losing its global reputation as a top education destination and billions in economic contribution. If this continues, migration agents report record-high rejection rates and months-long delays, even for skilled workers and family reunion cases. Many applicants feel like they're in limbo, living half-lives, waiting for a decision that may never come. In 2025, immigration is no longer just policy, it's politics. Some politicians have weaponized migration issues, blaming immigrants for housing shortages, traffic congestion, and job competition. This has created a climate of fear and division. Australia is now leaning heavily on temporary migrants who are good enough to work, but not good enough to stay. This leaves people vulnerable, without stability, and constantly living in fear of being asked to leave. For those who once saw Australia as a place to call home, today's immigration policies feel more like revolving doors, letting people in just long enough to benefit the system, then pushing them back out. If we continue down this path, we're not just losing immigrants, we're losing trust, diversity, and the very future we once promised. When immigrants leave, it's not just families packing their bags. It's not just resumes going unused. The real loss is deeper, and it affects every part of Australian life. Immigrants fill critical roles in Australia's economy, from healthcare and IT to construction and hospitality. When they leave, businesses struggle to find staff, projects slow down, and the economy feels the drag. 1 in 3 nurses, 1 in 4 tech workers, and 1 in 5 construction workers in Australia are immigrants. Shortages in key sectors mean longer wait times for services, higher costs, and missed opportunities for growth. Immigrants don't just work hard. They innovate. They start businesses. They bring new perspectives and solve problems in ways others can't. Australia's global reputation as a skilled, modern economy depends on this talent. When they leave or never arrive, the country loses potential that can't be measured in dollars alone. Australia's birth rate is falling. Its population is aging. Without immigration, the country faces a serious demographic challenge. Fewer workers supporting more retirees. Australia's cultural richness is one of its greatest assets. From Diwali to Eid, from pasta to pho, immigrants shape the nation's identity. As more immigrants leave or feel unwelcome, that diversity, that beauty, starts to fade, and Australia risks becoming less connected to the global world. Australia's harsh policies and rising immigration rates are being noticed around the world. Once viewed as a land of opportunity, it now risks being seen as a place of temporary welcome, but permanent exclusion. The broader impact is clear. Australia is not just losing people. It's losing talent, trust, reputation, and resilience. A country built on immigration cannot thrive by turning its back on those who help it grow. Australia's allure remains, but the challenges are prompting many to leave. Addressing these issues is crucial to retaining the diverse talent that has long contributed to the nation's growth. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on global migration trends.